Hi, this is Carl the Cobra Frutch, and you're watching Lights Out.
This is Faisal for Lights Out, proudly sponsored by Spartans Law. I'm delighted and privileged to be joined by Callum Smith. We're here at the Rotunda Boxing Club in Liverpool, the iconic Rotunda Boxing Club. Stephen, firstly, thank you very much for taking your time out to speak to me. How are you doing?
Not too bad, mate, you know, all good. Happy to be here and happy to be watching your brothers put the graft in.
I mean, you've moved away from boxing now, but I know your brothers are still involved in the support. I'm pretty sure you come down here on a daily basis, but I've got to ask the question, do you miss boxing?
Oh yeah, I miss it massively. It's too big a void, too big a hole in your life to fill with anything different, so you'd always miss it. You never get nothing in life that gives you that feel in your belly of what fighters know when you're getting in, and more so that winning feeling, you know, putting everything on the line and getting your hand raised. There's no buzz that recreates that, so you'd always miss it.
You're a former two-time British champion. You challenged for the world title. You had a very, very good career. You know, when I watch stuff to do with boxing, I look at former fighters like Tony Bellew. You know, they said that there's an itch still there. But what about you? Is that itch still there? You know, do you feel as if maybe you've got a comeback in you, or do you feel as if you walked away from the sport at the right time?
Yeah, listen, I felt like I probably walked away early, but it was down to COVID. But that itch will never go. I don't think any fighter will tell you that. It's always there. But you know, I've got enough knowledge up here, and I've got enough knowledge around me with my brothers to know that I can't come back and do what I could have done years ago. So if I come back now, I'll only lose to someone I should never have lost to. So there's no point.
Fair enough. Okay, well, moving on. I mean, let's just rewind back to Saturday night. Miss GB, Natasha Jonas, another phenomenal achievement, becoming a two-weight world champion, capturing the vacant IBF welterweight championship of the world. Stephen, is it fair to say that Natasha should surely be considered as probably one of the greatest female fighters of the UK of all time?
Yeah, 100%. Listen, if you win the world title, she's won. I think it's 4 world titles in 4 fights or something like that. You know, you're obviously a phenomenal force in boxing. You know, men or women, and to do what she's done, it's an amazing achievement. But it was just what we all knew she was capable of. Do you know what I mean? When she was mixing it and sort of in around the lightweight and super feather, she was robbed against Terry Harper. No one will tell me different. And you know, got given a draw when she won that fight. And push Katie Taylor closer at lightweight to then go up a few weight divisions and go and do it at light middle and come back down to welter and do it again. It shows the talent she's had, but it's what we always knew she was capable of, and it would have been an absolute travesty if she was to leave boxing without winning the world title. So she's done it now, she's achieved, and everything else she does from now is a bonus.
I mean, she's just getting better and better as she goes on. There's a lot of talks about a potential fight with Clarissa Shields. Clarissa said that she's willing to come down to 147 pounds. But firstly, before Natasha does decide to do what's next for her, what would you like to see Natasha do next?
Whatever she wants, basically. I think she's earned that right now. She's done it. The pressure's off her shoulders. It was always, what if she doesn't win a world title? But she's gone and done it. She's done it 4 times over. So she can do whatever she wants to do. If she's got any sort of ambition in her that she wants to maybe go for another weight, if she wants to try and unify, if she wants to become undisputed, whatever she wants to do, I hope she does it, because you know, she's a very close friend as well as a former gym partner. So I look forward to seeing how far she actually keeps going and how many more belts she keeps winning. But you know, I wish her every success, because it means a lot to seeing her doing as well as she's doing.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see what she does next. If we look in the back, Callum is preparing for Artur Beterbiev. Not an easy fight to prepare for, but if anyone can beat him and is capable of beating Artur Beterbiev, is the former world champion himself, Callum Smith. Artur Beterbiev's stopped everybody he's faced. Now, what has Callum got to do differently, and how do you think Callum will get on in that fight when he gets in the ring with Artur Beterbiev?
What he's got to do differently, obviously, is capitalise when you land back. There's people in the past, you know, none more so probably than Callum Johnson, who's landed on Beterbiev and hurt him, and sort of Callum will be the first to tell you he didn't really throw anything after he hurt him. He sort of went a little bit of I don't know whether he was a bit shocked or what, but it was hard to watch because I'm shouting like, go for him, and he didn't really do it. But you know, one thing about Callum Smith, he's a very spiteful puncher and he's a very good finisher. You know, if he gets you hurt, you're in trouble, because more often than not he gets you out there, and I think everyone bar one he's ever put over, he's got rid of. So he's a frightening finisher, and make no means about it. If he hurts Beterbiev, then I'm very confident he'll jump on him and get him out. And he's got to stay switched on, because he knows, the same can be said about Beterbiev.
I mean, when we look at Artur Beterbiev's, when he's faced British opponents such as Callum Johnson, Callum had enough success to even maybe go on and win the fight. Anthony Yard gave a good account of himself, but Callum's been on a higher level. He's a former world champion. He's won the Muhammad Ali Trophy. If Callum does have Beterbiev in a position where he's hurt, is it fair to say that Callum will be the fighter to not only beat Beterbiev but maybe even stop him inside the distance?
Yeah, 100%. Like I said, if he lands the right shots, the shots he's working on, I'm 100% confident he lands on Beterbiev and he gets him here, then he'll go for the finish and he'll get him out today. Yeah, definitely.
Moving on, let's just talk a bit about your brother Liam. Last time out, a phenomenal knockout victory over Chris Eubank Jr. The rematch was scheduled to be last week, but an injury to Liam stopped that fight from happening. But looks a lot better now. Just been watching him doing a bit of work in the gym. But we don't know what Eubank Jr. wants to do next. There's a lot of talk about a fight with Conor Ben. Everything's just up in lingo next. But do you expect the rematch with Eubank Jr. and your brother Liam to be next?
Yeah, I do. Listen, there's a rematch clause. The rematch clause was there for a reason. Chris Eubank put it in there. So Eubank put it in that if he got beat, he'd get an immediate rematch. Liam signed that contract. Liam's got no problem in giving him a rematch. Liam's, wiped the floor with him in 4 rounds. Really, everyone's seen what happened. He was walking around the ring with jerry legs and stuff. So we've got no problem from our side going straight back into that rematch. If Eubank goes and opts for another fight, like a Conor Ben fight or whatever else he wants to go and do, try and earn money that way, then that's not a problem. Liam's out of that contract. Liam signed a contract to fight him next. If he doesn't want to fight next, that's not a problem. Liam will move on with his career, knowing full well that he wiped the floor with Chris Eubank and he'll move on to better things. If Eubank wants a chance to try and put that right, then that's on him. He's got the contract to do so. So the ball's in his court. If he wants it, it's here. If he doesn't, then not a problem. Liam will move on.
He was obviously around Liam for the first fight with Chris Eubank Jr. We are hoping we get a second fight. And I watched an interview that Chris Eubank Sr. did with Talk Sport a few months ago. I don't know if you've seen it yourself, but when he was asked why Chris was beaten by Liam, he mentioned that in his days, in the 1990s, he wouldn't have lost to a fighter of Liam's caliber. But when you look at what Liam's achieved, former world champion, even though he's got a few losses on his record, he's lost to the best fighters out there. I mean, do you feel as if that, Chris Eubank Sr. and obviously Junior as well, do you feel as if they respected Liam enough, and do you feel as if that they rated him as a fighter in the build-up to that fight and after the fight?
No, definitely not. The dad more so. Listen, I feel for the dad. I don't know where his mental state's at, so I don't want to comment too much on the dad at the minute. I haven't seen that interview, but I've heard whispers about it. So, out of respect for the man and his achievements in boxing, I don't really want to play him down too much because it's laughable some of the things that I've heard he said. But again, I'm not aware of his mental state, so I don't really want to go in on him. So I won't mention that. But regarding the respect levels towards Liam, do I think they were there? No. When they first come to the gym to spar Liam, the dad was sort of like, he's too small and stuff, and then when they sparred, he was like, okay, and he was buzzing around Liam a little bit, where Liam was a bit like, he had no respect for me anyway. But we had confidence going into that fight due to the sparring, but we said, we seen what happened, we seen the effect Liam had on Chris, so we were confident from it, and it showed why. The same thing happened in the fight. We got in the ring in the fight and he landed and he hit him and he got him out today, so we were confident for a reason. But none more so than, we believe in Liam's ability. We believe Liam's a better fighter all round than Chris. I think Chris was a bigger man and was supposed to be the stronger man. That was what he had in his favour. But, the night proved otherwise, and Liam showed his strength at middleweight, and going into this rematch now, I think he's only going to be bigger and stronger at middleweight again. So he's going to, mature into the weight even more, and we're doubly confident this time.
Okay, moving on, just a few more matters before I let you go. 2 huge heavyweight fights got announced yesterday. Start off with Alexander Usyk and Daniel Dubois. Daniel Dubois, can he beat Alexander Usyk over in Poland? Has he got what it takes?
Listen, it's heavyweight boxing. Obviously, I can't sit here and say he can't win. He's a force to be reckoned with in himself. But would I put the money on him? Definitely not. I think Usyk's a big favourite. I think he'll probably outbox Dubois comfortably. But if Dubois lands, he can knock any man out. So I would never write him off, and I wish him all the best. You know, he's a Brit, one of our own. So good luck to him.
The rematch was also announced. Anthony Joshua will take on Dillian Whyte. Just 8 years on after the first fight. A lot's changed with both fighters. Anthony's won world titles. Dillian's been in big fights. They both lost. They both, you would have to say, kind of at like a rebuilding phase in their career. But what's going to be different about the rematch, Stephen? And do you feel as if Dillian may have found Anthony at the right time?
Listen, he's coming in on the back of two defeats and then a not so convincing performance over Franklin. So I don't see a better stage to really try and capitalise on Anthony Joshua. But you know, both fighters know each other really well from the amateur days through to their fights at pro. So I think there'll be a lot of needle there again when they meet up and when they see each other at press conferences. I still think there'll be a lot there with them. And listen, it could be an exciting fight. It could be, you know, a heavyweight boxing one where it's a shot lands quite early. We don't really know. You can never really predict anything in boxing, let alone the heavyweight. So it's one of them. Listen, is it the fight what, you know, people are building it up to be? Probably not. But listen, good luck to him. If it's a fight before Wilder for Joshua, then you can't really knock him. So you know, it is what it is. I like both fighters, and I wish them all the best.
The fight everybody wants to see is that potential undisputed fight, and obviously the man that's not been as active as we hope he would have been in Tyson Fury. We're hearing that the next opponent is going to be a complete game changer. There's rumours circulating around social media. He might take on Francis Ngannou in an exhibition bout. Not as a guy that's a former boxer, but as a fan. What do you think the reason is behind Tyson's inactivity? And apart from the exhibition bout, which looks seemingly unlikely like it's going to happen at any time soon, what is the best option now for Tyson Fury, Stephen?
Obviously, it's in an ideal world. He goes and fights for all the belts and does something no one's ever done in the heavyweight boxing, as in, you know, holds all the four belts. I know there's been undisputed champions in the past, but not in the four belts here at heavyweight. So if he goes and does that, then it's an amazing achievement, and he can sort of sail off into the sunset and, you know, look back on an absolutely unbelievable career. If that's not the case and that can't be made due to politics, then I don't really know what's the best route for him. I think he's beat the most dangerous man in boxing at the time in Deontay Wilder. Probably just get the Joshua fight made, give the British fans what they want to see, and then if he does win that, then he might just sail off anyway. You know, you don't know with Tyson, and he'll be the man that steers his own ship and says what he's going to do and when he's going to do it.
Stephen, before I let you go, one final one. Break down the huge undisputed fight that's just less than a month away. Errol Spence Jr. versus Terence Crawford, two of the best fighters in the world, both undefeated, but it's a chance for one of them to take the pound for pound glory status. Who walks out of Las Vegas with all the belts, Stephen?
Listen, obviously both of them can. They're both class acts. They're both really top fighters, and you know, I'm a fan of both. I think both beat the rest of the division on any other night. I think it's just when they're coming up against each other. Initially, when it was first talked about, when Crawford first moved up, I thought Spence might be a bit big, bit too work too hard and stuff. But as fights have gone on and Crawford's become a more fully fledged welterweight, I think I sway towards Crawford. I just think he's just got that X factor where he can pull it out against all styles. He can adapt himself mid-fight, and he's carrying a bit of pop now at welter as well. So I think I sway towards Crawford to win late, possibly points.
Okay, Stephen, before I let you go, anything else you'd like to add?
No, all good, mate. All good, just enjoying life and like popping in and seeing how my brothers are getting on.
Red or blue?
Red, all of us.
Right, so Bosley, McAllister, who else do we need to bring in to have a successful career season next year and get back into the Champions League?
Listen, I think there's no secret that we need midfielders, and you know, we need legs in the midfield. I think Henderson's had a great career, but I do think he was showing signs last year. He's carried a lot in that midfield. Fabinho didn't look the same player either. Do you know what I mean? Again, a great player for us. So if they can get a bit of support in their hand, a bit of legs in their hand, and then you know we have a dominant midfield, then there's no reason why with our players up top with Salah and stuff getting goals. I think there's no reason why we can't go all the way again.
I have to get your opinion on something. I was debating with a few friends of mine about a week ago about Mohamed Salah. phenomenal footballer. Probably goes down as one of the greatest players of all time, and he just keeps on getting better and better with his goal record. But let's just say next summer there was an opportunity to an instant swap with Kylian Mbappe. You look at it, and Mbappe's what, 22, 23, Salah's 31, 32. Is that something you'd be interested in?
Yeah, 100%. Listen, I'm a big Mo Salah fan. We all are. As a Reg, you can't not be. His numbers are just phenomenal. They speak for themselves. He's scoring goals left, right and centre. He's added assists to his game the more he's gone on as well, where his numbers are incredible. But yeah, obviously with a swap Mbappe next year, yeah, 100%. Because of the longevity in Mbappe's career, because he's so young, you've got to look at it at the business model for the Yanks, the way they work it. I think they bite your hands off for it.
Stephen, it's been an honour talking to you. Thank you very much for your time, my friend. And yeah, we look forward to hopefully catching up with you at some point in the near future.
Thank you, mate. Thanks a lot.